Hi everyone, and welcome to another Simplicity Sewing tutorial. My name is Brittany J. Jones, and in today's video, we are going to be installing side seam pockets. Let's get started. For this demo, I'll be using the pattern pieces from View D on McCall's 8562. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that you transfer all of your dots from your tissue paper onto your fabric. I've transferred the dots here for the pocket as well as the front and the back. One thing that I like to do with side seam pockets is I like to go ahead and finish off the outer edge of the pocket before I install it. So as you can see here, I've used my serger and I just finished off the outer round edge of the pocket before I stitch it on. Once I stitch it on, then I'll be able to finish off the other raw edge and include it with the side seam of the dress. So what we're going to do is with right sides facing, I'm going to start working on the front first. And this would be my right side here since I have marked on the back. I put my markings onto the wrong side of the fabric. I'm just using muslin here for this demo as well. So again, I have my markings on the wrong side of the fabric. So with right sides facing, I'm going to take a right side of the pocket. Again, these are my markings. So this is the wrong side of my pocket. So right sides facing. There is a notch right here. I'm going to match that up as well as match up the circles that I transferred, and I'm just going to place pins through them. Once I have this pocket pinned onto the front, I'm going to pin on the pocket to the back the same exact way. And just in case it's hard to see the circles, I'm just going to mark over them. That way you can see them a little bit better here. So now that we have them pinned on like so, we have both of the pockets pinned, we can go ahead and stitch in a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. You want to stitch down the whole pocket here. Again, back stitch at the beginning and at the end using a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, now that we have both of the pockets stitched on, this is what mine look like here. And as you can see, I went ahead and finished off the raw edge here. Once you have them sewn on, and now you want to go ahead and press the pocket out. So we can go ahead and do that for both pockets. You want to turn it out away from the garment like so, and just press the seam out like so. After we have the front pressed out, we are going to do some understitching on the front pocket only. So again, once you have it pressed out on the front pocket only, we're going to do understitching right here beside the seam. This is going to help keep the pocket toward the inside and not come out while you're wearing the garment. Understitching is done about 1/8 of an inch away from this seam here, and we're going to catch in the seam allowance while we stitch it. Okay, I have stitched on my understitching here. Now that we have the understitching done on the front, let's go ahead and grab the back. And you should have only pressed the back pocket. Again, there's no understitching here on the back. And so now with right sides facing, we're going to pin down the side seam as well as the pocket, matching everything up. So first, I'm just going to lay everything right sides facing, make sure everything is even. I'm going to begin pinning. Right here at the pocket, you want to make sure that you go through both dots. So I'm going to put a pin through one dot here on this side, and I'm just going to flip it over to make sure I'm coming out the dot on the underside. So just pin like so. Going to do the same thing here at the second dot, and just continue pinning down the remaining of your seam. Okay, and now that you have it all pinned, I'm just going to turn it this way so you can see the whole side here. Okay, starting up here at the top of the seam, we're going to back stitch. We're going to come down to the first dot, back stitch there. We're going to cut our thread, make sure that we leave this opening for our pocket. We're going to start back stitching here at this dot, back stitch, and go all the way to the hem and back stitch there. We'll come right back up here at the large dot and then stitch around our pocket at a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance and then back stitch once we get to the end. Let's go ahead and stitch our side seam and pocket in place now. Again, we're stitching using a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, now that we have our seam sewn, here's what mine is looking like here. You can see where I stopped at and left this opening, where I started back sewing at, and also me finishing around the pocket. The next thing that we need to do is we need to clip the back seam allowance above and below the pocket. Again, back seam allowance only and below the pocket like so. And now we can press our seam open flat and we can press the pocket to go toward the front. Let's go ahead and press it now. Okay, I have pressed my seam here. This is what the inside of the garment looks like. And once we flip it onto the right side, you can see here that we have a nice clean side seam pocket. Pocket is right here. So this is again what it looks like on the right side of the garment. You have just finished a side seam pocket and now you can continue constructing your garment. Well, that is all for the video. I really do hope that it was helpful and that you are more inspired and confident to install side seam pockets. If you would like to see more simplicity tutorials, there's a link in the description box that would take you to a playlist for many more videos. Until next time, blessings everyone. Bye.